AZ12 podcast. I'm your host, Mike Luke, joined by Jason Shear and Chip Hale, the only U of A baseball coach in history to make the postseason in his first 3 years. Hello, Coach. How are you doing?
Doing great. Getting ready to go. A couple weeks, we get to go play somebody else other than ourselves, so we're excited.
All right, now you got a lot of expectations coming into this season. You're very highly thought of around the national the realm. Talk a little bit though about some of the aspects. Obviously you got replacing some pitching. You got a beast pitching coach, obviously as well. Talk a little bit about that first.
Yeah, I think obviously expectations are tough. I mean, we've seen it in any sport, anytime, professional, amateur. Especially when you start talking about 18 to 23-year-olds, I guess we can say now, how they handle it, and we're just going to sort of lean into it. And we know we have a veteran position player group, but you're right. We're very, very green on the pitching side. We think we have talent and arm talent and good shapes and good velocity and all these different things that pitching coach talk about. But until they get out there against a good quality opponent, which Ole Miss will be on opening day, we'll find out. And, that's what the preseason's for. And I feel like that's why we schedule the way we schedule, to find out, how we need to get better to get really good in the Big 12 play like we did last year in Pac-12 play. So, yeah, I think Kevin and John do a great job with our pitching staff. They bring them along. And we'll see how, we just had a meeting this morning. We talked about different scenarios, starting Friday, starting Saturday, starting Sunday. And then, are we ready to have a guy, a couple guys that can go 5, 6, 7 innings? We'll see. Probably not, opening weekend. So we'll take a few more pitchers on the road for this first road trip.
Coach, that's kind of what I was going to ask. Is there one guy that you feel is ready to be that day one starter that'll kind of lead the staff?
That's a great question. Colin McKinney's a transfer from Baylor University, who has a big arm and had some injury problems when he went to Baylor. He's healthy as could be right now. He's throwing the ball well, probably not as well as he can. And that's a great thing for us, because you don't want to be at your best right now. And we talked about, possibly doing something different and starting him on Saturday and going more, an opener with one of our veteran guys on Friday, and then, kind of piecing it together on a Sunday. So we're talking about, I think Colin's the one guy that we feel like can be he could be the Friday night starter when we start Big 12 play. But are we better off for our team is to put him on Saturday? Casey Hintz has done great. He was a reliever for us last year. He's a veteran. Do we start him Friday night and let him, pitch to contact a little more and trust our defense and see how many innings we can get out of him, and then have the availability of that, 5, 6, 7 inning guy on Saturday instead.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the local aspect here. And again, Arizona's produced some pretty good players over there. Tucson's produced, and you've obviously hit the ball out of the park with a couple players as well. Talk a little bit about Mason, Jake, and just kind of where this team is when it comes, and Tucson and recruiting in state, because I always get that question for people that want to have it asked.
No, we have a fantastic, recruiting base here in the state of Arizona and in Tucson. Like you said, over the years, we've had some great ones. Mason White, obviously, is our starting shortstop. He's been a starter for 3 years. This will be his third year, and we hope he gets drafted very high. Andrew Kane's another Ironwood Ridge kid who's going to be in the lineup somewhere. Whether it's first, third, or DH, his bat will be in the lineup somewhere. And we'll always start our recruiting every year when we, now we're on our 26s that we're looking at, and we look in state first. We try to get the best kids in state that we can get, and then we'll move, to the California, Texas, and the East Coast. So, we've had success. Mason Russell and Smith Bailey are both pitchers out of the, they both one Castile, one Mountain Ridge up in Phoenix. So they're going to figure big on this staff at some point. It's hard as a freshman. They're in the dorm. They seem to get every, stomach bug or flu bug that runs through that dorm. So we're trying to get them all healthy right now. We've kind of had that issue going on.
Sure.
When you take a look at the schedule, and you kind of touched on this before, the benefits, you guys have another, last year you had it, this year you have another, you get right into it. overall, when you're looking at the big picture, the benefits of being able to do that?
Yeah, I just think, guys, I think you come to schools like Arizona to play great teams. And, last year we started the Pac-12 with a losing record and everybody was upset and they were saying you scheduled too hard. And I said, I go back to school, like USC football. They're always going to play Notre Dame, every year. And they're going to try to play like they did this year. They're going to play LSU in the first game of the season. We feel like we're a program on the West Coast that should be playing the best schools from all over the country. We'd love to have SEC schools come here. We've asked. They don't want to come. So we're going to go play them in tournaments. Our future schedules, we're going to play the Irvines, the Santa Barbara, the best schools in California we can find. We're trying to schedule we're going to play UCLA in a couple of years. We're trying to play USC. We're trying to play the Stanfords and Cals. We want to stay, relevant on the West Coast. But we're always going to go play the best schools. So this year it's a tournament in Globe Life, and then we go to another tournament and we play, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, and Tennessee in Houston, and that's going to be tough. But you know what? We're going to find out who we are before we go into conference.
All right, Coach, talk a little bit about just the recruiting aspect in general. I still find fascinating because you've got, like in basketball, it's fairly simple. Kids have to go to college. You can go watch them play, and you're like, oh, that guy over there, he looks really, really good. Baseball, it's a lot different. I mean, it seems like so much more of an inexact science. Like I'll get people all the time, and they're like, oh, well, Mason White was only ranked so by a perfect game or whatever. And, whatever. To me, that is such an imperfect science. Plus, if you're recruiting somebody like a Delman Young back in the day, he's the first pick in the draft. He signed here, but he wasn't going to come here. So what does it really matter? How do you balance that?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. It's changed too. Don't forget, when I first took the job, we were recruiting 8th graders. To be quite frank, we were committing. We have a commit still for our 26 class that we committed as an 8th grader out of Phoenix. And to be frank, that's completely an inexact science. Now we can't even mess with guys now until they're juniors, which I think is way better for them, way better for us, and way better for all college baseball across the country. You're exactly right. There's going to be schools that are going to have, 5 first round picks committed. Well, heck, they're not coming. But usually what you'll do in that situation is you'll commit guys behind them knowing they're not going to come. Now, these recruiting classes are becoming smaller. I look at my board over here right now.
Can we see your board, Coach?
Oh, I can see it.
Can we see your board, Coach? Can you turn that? Can you have Brett change it a little bit?
No. But if you look at this, our classes when we first got here were 22, 23 deep. We're pretty happy with 10 to 15 guys now. We're going down from 40 to 34 on our rosters next year. That's going to happen. We really, the one thing we didn't talk about when we talked about in-state recruiting is the junior college kids. Baseball is a big junior college sport, and Arizona's got fantastic junior college baseball. Pima, South Mountain, Central, are powers, and they produce big time players every year. So we're happy to get a couple kids out of there. We've already committed 2 for next year. We might commit more, this spring watching them.
When you look at the roster, speaking of draft eligible and all that, you feel that it's difficult. There's expectations about the team overall, but these kids are also playing to get drafted. Do you have to manage that in their mentality with that throughout a season? Yes.
And I think the expectation thing you talked about when we started the whole conversation is huge. And we don't know how each guy's going to handle it. We've already had 50 scouts in here watching guys that are supposed to go really high in the draft. They played very well in these inter squads. But when we get out at Globe Life and there's 100 different, scouts and 20 scouting directors and some GMs probably, because there's nothing going on in their world other than spring training. We'll see how our guys react. And then that's my job and our staff's job is to coach them on that. It's not going to be easy. There's going to be times where they're going to press. We've seen it. We see in every sport, and it's my job to calm them down and get them breathing and back to who they can be. And are they going to have great weekends every weekend? No. Baseball's hard. They're going to have some offers, and we'll deal with it.
How is the now going over to the Big 12 now? Obviously, different conference, different. What are your thoughts on that? Does it change your recruiting strategy a little bit as far as geographically? What does Chip Hale think about that move?
Yeah, I'm listen, I was I grew up in California. I was alive when there was a Pac-8, believe it or not.
Hmm?
Played in the Pac-10, now coached in the Pac-12, now with the Big 12. I love the West Coast. I think West Coast baseball has always been great. The fact of the matter is, in the last 10 years, there's been a shift to the Southeastern Conference for baseball. And we have to, we got to keep up. And I think the Big 12 kind of helps us with that. We'll still recruit, like we said, Arizona. We'll try to recruit. Northern California has been very good for us. Southern California has been tough. To be frank, those kids basically, as eighth graders, told us, I'm going to the SEC, whether they were good enough or not. So we'll see, really keeping track of a lot of those guys we heard from early on, see where they end up.
I bet.
But we will, we've ventured now. We got some commits from Texas. We've got some portal guys. That helps a lot when you go into these new conferences. But we will recruit Texas harder. But you got to think about it, guys. When you got a state like Texas, and the kid says, hey, I want to come to your place, and Texas Tech, Texas A&M, TCU, Houston, even Texas State is a tough school to play. There's a ton of schools in Texas. So you start thinking about, well, why aren't those schools coming after you? So we have to be very picky in who we pick. And we went for the top guys in the country, to be frank with you, with the 26s. And we got 3 or 4 of them, but 5, 6, 7 of them, it was tough. It was tough dealing, with the Tennessees and the LSUs and those schools. But we're not going to shy away from the best players in the country.
When you look at Big 12 baseball, I'm used, like you mentioned, I grew up in California. Went to USC games growing up. Is there a style of play or just a way that you kind of, when you look at Big 12 baseball, you kind of, people need to expect a certain style or something like that?
Yeah, that's a great. I like that question because I think we have some schools in this conference that are going to play a little different. I know that I think Cincinnati is going to be a bunt, hit and run, try to mess with you, try to trick you. At West Virginia, we knew that. We played them a couple of years ago. We played them in the saw them in the regional. They are very, they'll run a ton on you. They'll try to mess with you. So that's more of the old school, like when you grew up, and I grew up in California with Fullerton's and Long Beach and those schools, you had to be ready when Augie Garrido was coaching. So I think we're going to see some more of that. But I think from the big schools, Yoki States, the TCUs, the Texas Techs, it's going to be just, they're going to try to smash the ball and beat you up that way. So there's going to be a little different. And that was the thing about the Pac-12. I was really surprised. It was very professional style, baseball, where I think we'll see a little more coaches trying to manipulate things with some teams.
I was asked this. This is a random question, but it's a random show. So, Chip, who is the best player you've ever played with? I have an idea where you're going with this, but trust me, there is a method to this question.
Yeah, well, we're all random guys too.
Yeah, we are.
The best player I've ever played with was probably, Hall of Famers and Dave Winfield, Kirby Puckett.
I thought you were going to say Kirby
Puckett. Probably those are the best guys I ever played with.
Do you have any good Kirby Puckett stories? I have a friend who's the Kirby Puckett is basically his idol, and he asked me to ask about Kirby.
Puck was one of I played with a lot of good teammates, and I've coached a lot of good teammates. Puck was a fun one, and that's what always scared I think a lot of us when he retired was he had a lot of fun, on and off the field. Whatever his body was feeling like he was going to play, and he was going to do anything he could to get to play. Right. And so there was days I'd see him, and he was the only person that ever called me Monk, Chipmunk. It was weird.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, he would Coach call Monk. Me Monk. And I went to him one day because I was a bench player, so he was always sitting at the end of the dugout in the Metrodome, and he looked beat up, and he just looked like he was, and his eyes were, it was like a boxer that was glassed over, they got punched too many times. And I said, you all right? And he goes, Monk, he goes, you drag this 250-pound body out there that many times. This is how you feel. And, you know, and that's what I always say is, you know, availability is the best thing you can give us as when you're coaching. And that's what
Right.
Puck was. He was going to play. He was going to take BP. He was going to take infield, outfield like we did every day. And he was not going to, you know, he would do it every day and not complain one bit.
Sure.
You know, we talk NIL with football and basketball, but the other sports don't get a lot of NIL attention. How has that changed your job just in general? NIL, and then you have to deal with the professional aspect and money there and all that.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, we put a lot of money into this team. You know, Trip Couch, my assistant coach, I remember last year at this time, he's like, can I just start being a baseball coach again? Because basically, you know, Trip, myself, but mostly him, he's on the phone constantly we have now a core group of alumni that have really helped us in the NIL, and they've reached out to their sort of eras to try to help. And, you know, there's a lot of pushback, you know, to be frank with you, there's a lot of ex-players that, you know, they're like, I don't want anything to do with paying players, and they don't get it yet. You know, when the revenue sharing starts, they'll start to get it a little bit. But we put a lot into this, and, you know, we'll see what, you know, we know that revenue sharing is next year. And what the NIL stuff we can do is we're going to raise the money for it and do the best we can to try to compete. But, you know, obviously our numbers are not as high as some of the numbers down south, but we feel like, you know, one of our goals, and I think our alumni were good with this, is we want our guys to come to school and not have to pay for anything. If we can have 40 guys that are basically on full scholarships, then we think we've done a pretty good job for them. You know, that's not what other schools are on fulls and then giving them another 100, 200 grand. It's hard to compete with, but as long as they can come in and not have to worry about paying for school or paying where to live and we can feed them, I think we're doing a pretty good job for them. So that's kind of what our goal was going into the NIL, and we're getting close to it.
All right, Coach. Before we let you go, Sheer and I have a long-running feud about Mr. Chip Hale on one thing. So Dave Hickey is a good buddy of mine, and I had an idea that Dave Hickey was going to be looking at Chip Hale. And again, it was so I'm a big Chip Hale fan. I've said this. Sheer said he needs you to win a regional, and he'll be all in. But we are getting Sheer right now. I am all in on Chip Hale. He will say, Coach, he's going to say, win that, and he's going to say, my bad, Chip. Sheer, this is true.
Absolutely. And I love, and he's doing a great job. I understand people, you know, want to see the regional and all that.
Hey, I'm with you guys. I've been told that by the upper ups, and I agree. I mean, it's great to make it to the regionals, and you know, when I came here, I said it, and I mean it, that this program belongs in Omaha, you know, and I know we fight against some things now with the different conferences, but I think the Big 12 can help us with this. But we have to get there. And this team understands that. And that's the cool thing about it. And we'll do the best we can. And that's our goal. I mean, obviously we want to get to Omaha, but we have to win. We have to win that first regional first.
Coach, before you go, can we get a bear down and a back the A from you?
Bear down. Let's back the A.
Yes.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
And give Brett Nux for me.
I will.
All right. Appreciate you, Coach. Thanks again, buddy. Chip Hale, my man. Chip Hale's the man. We like Chip Hale on this show. Sheer, you're on record now that you will apologize, though. This is public knowledge.
I've said it before. And look, I always need to clarify this whenever we talk to someone or I criticize someone, because some people aren't able to separate it. But I think we just saw in those last 20 minutes, Chip Hale's such a good dude.
Yeah, he is a good dude. He's like Dave Hickey. We would agree with that.
I am sorry. I'm laughing at something I just saw on Twitter, Mike.
What did somebody make fun of me?
No, but you'll laugh at this. Brendan Carroll is indeed leaving.
I told you he's going to leave. Dude, he's getting out of SRS, baby. Who's that? Who doesn't want to? Who wants to stay?
He's just the offensive line coach. That's it.
Yeah. I'd want to get out of there as well. All right, now let's get to a little bit of Arizona basketball, a little bit. But first, we gotta pay the bills. All right, let's do it. Comfort X HVAC, my friend. Comfort X. Okay, now there's been multiple people that have reached out, and they have been very impressed by the customer service. Guess who reached out to them, by the way? Our good pal Tony Gimino reached out, and here's what you got to do. Again, if you get one of those premium installations, those things are awesome. You can get 10-year free routine and maintenance. Yummy, yummy. You want to check that out. Very good stuff. And again, use code word Wildcats for 10% off. If you're getting something big, then that's going to be something that you're going to want. They got a perfect track record and small business with big savings. We very much like them. And again, check them out. We got a bunch of different people that have utilized them. And again, if your HVAC is going out, then check these guys out. They are great. Again, though, you got to use code Wildcats for 10% off. Now, we're going to get to basketball here in a second. But first, Michael Rubin.
Yes.
Rubin. All right, now look at that QR code right there. That thing's awesome. Scan that, baby. This guy can do the shopping for you. He can help buy, sell, or refinance because he is a broker. He can also get access to other things that many mere mortals can't, and he can help you with a lot of debt consolidation, all of that stuff. Check it out. Again, Michael Rubin, Swift Mortgage. Use code Ed Stokes this week for $500 off closing costs. Again, help buy, sell, or refinance. This is the time that you want to be able to do that. Again, we like Michael Rubin on this show. And again, he's local, support a lifelong Wildcat fan. And you can tell by these codes, we're bringing up players that Shear's never even heard of. Ed Stokes. Use Ed Stokes for $500 off closing costs. I've never seen a player in U of A history miss more dunks than Ed Stokes. But Michael Rubin will not miss that dunk for you. Check it out. Okay.
Ooh, good trade. That was good.
That was good. I really did. That was
good.
Wow. That was an ad lib. That was
what a transition.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Okay. Now let's make fun of ASU and let's talk about Arizona. All right. There are many storylines here, but first, I am a petty person. And yes, I am. Nobody. I will hear from nobody. Even this Red Wines dweeb on Twitter, this door jam, who still believes that everybody stinks. And Caleb Love is a better basketball player than Joson Sanon. I don't care where they are in 10 years. I don't care where they are in 3 months or 5 months. Caleb Love is better, and Caleb Love showed out. That was what I wanted to see. It was great.
Yeah, and one thing that surprised me, Mike, is I don't know if it's a surprise, but we talked about it after the game, and kind of we had heard it even from ASU people, is that Sanon has basically just become a jump shooter. And we said that in leading up to the game, and he had dribble, does not defend, doesn't rebound, doesn't pass. He's literally just a jump shooter. And when the shots aren't going in, he's kind of irrelevant. He put up some I was watching the game last night with Shelby again. He put up some horrible threes. He had that one in transition that only hit the backboard. And meanwhile, you got Caleb Love dropping 27. There were people that indeed wanted Sanon over Love, and we thought
there's a lot of folks on there.
It looks even dumber now. It's not even a discussion or a comparison. It's like, I'm not even sure. Actually, I don't Sanon wouldn't even start.
No, he wouldn't start.
Because KJ Lewis would just be the two if they had
he wouldn't start. He wouldn't start. And again, you know what I really like too about what I saw from my Caleb? My mom likes how I said my Caleb now, and I will say that is my Caleb. Dick Wilson, are you still amazed by the stupidity of ASU fans? No, I'm not amazed.
It wasn't just ASU fans.
Right.
Like, there were Arizona fans that absolutely were upset that Arizona chose Caleb Love over Sanon.
I mean, I will, again, I very much like this. But now, also, you know what I really like what I've seen from Caleb Love? Is that this game, and I was talking with this guy Mulebach, and we're gonna go in on Mulebach here in a second because he said something that I agree with. But Arizona, Caleb Love, I love how he's getting to the basket. Mm-hmm. He's finishing at the rim. Listen, we've seen enough Caleb Love, my Caleb. We have seen enough from my Caleb.
Caleb.
Yeah, we've seen enough from him to know that He's not going to string together 6 straight great shooting performances. That's just not who he is. But guess what? A lot of people aren't like that. But there's no way that we shouldn't be able to count on him to get 15 to 17 points just by getting to the paint, because he can do it. And when he gets there, and he was finishing at the basket, sure, that was great. I need more of that.
Yeah, and look, his shooting numbers aren't outstanding, but you mentioned it. Like, you're going to get like a 3 or 4 game stretch from Caleb, and then he'll have a couple stinkers, and then he'll go on another. So, I mean, you take a look at his last like 4 games. Iowa State, he had the big shot, right? Didn't play well, but had the shot.
Killed it on overtime.
Right, 27 against ASU. Oklahoma State, yeah, 27. Like,
right.
You'll probably, it's that's what you get. It's the Caleb Love experience. The difference is that when you get games like you got against ASU, where he's clearly the best player on the court, it makes a couple stinkers here and there worth it.
Yes, it does make a couple stinkers here and there worth it. And again, with Sanon, they're just not the same. They not like us. They not like us. I had a lot of fun. Tweeting at his agent after the game. A guy on Twitter said that he had over something like 600 people tweet at him. Yes, or something like that. That was great. Now, we need to talk about Hurley.
First, can we just say how funny it is? It was funny.
Dude,
like, it was embarrassing. Like, I was in press row, being a professional that I am.
Yeah, you are a professional. Did you wear that same V-neck that you always wear, the gray V-neck?
No, I don't wear these to games.
Oh, you don't? What about the Crocs?
I don't have Crocs. Never owned a pair of Crocs in my life.
Good.
Sandals, but no Crocs.
Yeah,
I was just openly laughing. Like, it was embarrassing. I would be absolutely embarrassed and horrified if I was their AD.
Right. Yeah, I know. I would too. I believe that this is the line. I believe that's the line in the sand. I don't believe, and we're going to get to something here that I have a real problem with that some people don't think needs to be addressed. I do believe it needs to be addressed. But the other thing as well, this is literally the least. Will you wear it? Oh, yeah, we're working on those. Our guy, Cody James Martin, who is much smarter than me. This is true, Sheer. Much smarter than me.
Yes. I will. I'll wear a shirt,
Yeah, we are working on AZ12 shirts, though. We are trying to make them affordable because we are for the people, by the people. But yes, hopefully within the next, 10 days to 2 weeks, we will get some merch. Okay. Now, Bobby Hurley, I'm going to get to my biggest problem here in a minute that I still think that people are overlooking. Dude, you are literally the embodiment of not class. When anybody watches ASU, there's nobody else in the country outside of maybe like Mick Cronin that acts like that. Like, he literally, like, when he's getting the technical, and I'm watching it on TV, as he's getting the technical, he's taking his jacket off and he's unbuckling his belt. Like, what are you going to take your pants off or something? Like,
Lev had a point with me. Remember when Rich Rod slammed the water bottle after ASU and was kind of embarrassing in that presser, and we all started to think that was it? Yeah, I think that was the Bobby Hurley embarrassing moment. You can get away, like people talk about Danny Hurley. The difference is Danny Hurley wins. If Danny Hurley didn't win, everyone would think he's embarrassing and all that, and he still might be, but he wins, so you live with it. When you're losing and embarrassing, there's just no point.
There's no point in putting up with that. I can't now. Super Snap. No. AJW. We made like $100 in Super Snaps last game. We need less of Shelby, or less of you and more than Shelby. People are donating to Shelby, not you. Back the A. And by the way, ASU still sucks. $3 Super Snap. Okay. That was embarrassing though. That was just humiliating. And I am at this point too with Koa L. Pete. Obviously, I want Koa L. Pete. But
we share this opinion. We share this opinion. You're right,
dude. But at this stage, at the end of the day, if you go to ASU, and I'm not pulling the sheer thing that I like to joke about, they weren't good anyway. He's obviously good. But if you go to ASU after watching that dude, after watching this team, I didn't want you anyway, man. That's just my opinion. I don't want you anyway. Again, it's a unique situation. It's not making a character indictment. He's clearly a great player, but if you go to ASU after all that, dude, I don't
look, at the end of the day, if you go to ASU after that, let's just say you're a different kind of kid, right? Like, it's just, and I don't want to do the whole, we didn't want you anyway, but
I'm going to give you a pass on this one. You can do it.
Yeah. There's obviously, there's some kids who are winning and certain situations aren't as important to you
Right.
as other things. I would argue that you have a list with Houston, Baylor, Arizona, and ASU. One of those does not belong.
Right. Yes.
I
One of
can
those
you
is,
can you can make the argument for Houston. You can make the argument for
I can make the argument for any of
for
those.
Baylor. You can make the argument for Arizona. What is your argument for ASU? It's closer to home. Like, who cares?
Right,
By
right,
what?
exactly. And you know why I don't buy that argument either is that he comes from a football family. His brother Andrews went to Stanford. His brother Todd went to Nebraska. Cassius went to Michigan State. So it's not like this is some, like family that, and it's not like it's some family that's,
Yeah,
opposed to. Yeah. I don't know. But like I said, that's kind of where I'm at. Obviously, I want him. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't come here, I'm not beating Tommy up for it. I don't. That's just a different cat entirely. Then, pardon the pun, a different cat entirely. Do you get it? That
look at you. You are on fire
dude,
today, Mike.
I am so good. I am so good. I was. I think, dude. But between this, there are so many things that I needed to boost my self-esteem this weekend, and so many of these all happened at the same time. Just good stuff all the way around. Okay, now, let's see here. Oh, let's pay some bills, and then we are going to get to. I have a take on something that I think is being a little bit underreported here. Baggins, baby, Baggins. Okay, I've taken me and the missus to Baggins multiple times now. Very good. We went to the one on Fort Lowell. We signed some autographs, obviously, and then we signed some autographs in the one on Grant. Grant and like Swan. But again, very, very good stuff. And we used code AZ12 for 15% off. Everybody needs to use code AZ12 for 15% off. Rafael Gallego, you're a man of the people in there. You are very, very impressive person. Go to Baggins. Take the lovely missus. Take Albert there. But everybody, got to get in there and take some pictures, though. We like Baggins. It makes me look good. It makes Sheer look good. And we need all the help in the world making ourselves look good. Use code AZ12 for 15% off. Baggins, baby. You guys went to Baggins this week, didn't you?
I was gonna say I was there yesterday. Got club and half a club and tortilla soup. And now, Mike, what I found out when I went there, they just sell their cookies.
No, they do just sell their cookies.
Yeah, it's just a bag of 20 cookies. Boom, done.
Boom, done. Yeah, that's basically called dinner for me. So yeah, did you are you still using the gift card, or are you now using the AZ12?
We used the gift card yesterday, but we've used the AZ12. Shelby's using the AZ12. We're all over. We just love Baggins.
David Rosen. Yeah, of course it's hot sandwiches. Come on. And if you're up in Scottsdale in that neck of the woods, check it out as well. We like Baggins. Okay, now what's the next one we got, Cody?
Mike, the people demand to know, will you sign a sandwich?
I would sign a sandwich. I would do it. And I wouldn't charge anything. Normally I charge 25 cents for every autograph. Actually, I don't. I've been asked for an autograph twice in my life.
One from me.
Oh, no, it wasn't from you. Yes, yeah. You asked me to sign your chest, and I refused. But I've been asked for 2 autographs. I will sign it, though. Yes. All right. Either way, check it out. Oh, rock. Green Valley Decorative Rock. Our good pal Mike. Now, again, Sheer, there is a scurrilous rumor going around about Green Valley Decorative Rock that we aim to take down in its tracks. It is not just in Green Valley. Do not allow anybody to ever tell you it isn't just in Green Valley.
It's big in Alcatraz, too.
It is. Welcome to rock. Yeah. Oh, Ted Wardo just jumped up. Yeah. But 50 plus locally sourced landscaping materials, and they will deliver to you. If you got a ton of stuff, you can get rocks, you can get rock. You could get decorative rock. And again, check it out though. And they deliver. Now there is, I think we talked about it. They want to deliver out to Indonesia. I don't know that they will deliver out to Indonesia, but I guess what's that phrase? What's that phrase? Everybody's got a price. I guess they probably will. Deliver out to Indo, or they won't deliver there, but they will go. I'm going to do this off the top of my head again. They will go north to Oracle, west to Marana, east to Benson, south to Nogales. Boom, done it. Ooh, bum, boom, ah. Everybody hit the like button, and everybody get a Green Valley Decorative Rock. Okay. Here's something though that bothers me, and I know that not Green Valley Decorative Rock, but and maybe I'm in the minority, but I know Mulebach agrees with me on this as well. So
Hold on. I'm gonna break in real quick before you go. We have breaking news. Arizona is ranked 20th.
Yep. That's fine. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Just got to keep winning, baby. Just keep winning. Okay. Cody, you can take this off the screen now. We've done our due diligence for
rank them.
Hey, what are you doing, dude? Well, no, I didn't say take cheer off the screen. Okay. I believe, and again, I get all of the taking the high road. I get all of that. I understand all of that. I don't believe that you can have another coach talk about your player individually in the manner in which Bobby Hurley did without just saying, again, I don't need you to go off. I don't need you to go crazy, but I need you. I don't believe that you can have a opposing coach. It doesn't happen for a reason. And I believe that you just have to say something, if you got something to say, direct it towards me, but leave our players out of this. Because when you allow coaches to start talking about your players, that to me is a very clear line that is crossed. I can't, again, I get Tommy might not say anything. It's not the end of the world, but I believe you have to say something there.
The vibe I get is they're not going to say anything.
I hope they're asked at the presser about it. I actually.
Oh, they will be asked at the presser.
And you know what? And I would. We'll see. I'll put it up to you.
I'm just saying the vibe I get, but we'll see. We'll see. Right? That may change. They may want
when it's asked at the presser.
Yeah.
We'll see.
They have a game tomorrow. All that stuff. Bruce could ask tomorrow. Who knows if they win? I do agree with you. No, I wouldn't make it a bigger deal.
No, not a big deal. I'm not saying that.
If knowing me, right, like in the way I would coach, and I've coached high school basketball before, Mike. I was an assistant. I would say, look, this is the last thing I'll say on it. If anyone has a problem with my players, they come to me. I don't appreciate it, and that's it. That's it.
I just don't believe.
We agree. I wouldn't say Bobby's this or that.
No. I'm not saying any of that. Don't make it about that. But I don't believe there's a reason that this doesn't happen. I mean, it doesn't happen.
And when it does happen, there's fights at the end of games.
Yes, exactly. And it doesn't happen. And I don't believe that I just don't believe that to me was, and like I said, I don't think Matt would get mad at me, but we talked about this for about 35 minutes yesterday. And he's just like, you just can't allow that. I mean, again, we're not saying go up and, give the middle finger and go after, just say, listen, at the end of the day, these are my, if you got something to say about the players, you come to me because that to me is where I'm at. I couldn't believe watching that again, where he's literally singling out and then saying, well, I know who I won't be voting for. And I don't care. There's people on the boards that are like, well, he didn't mention him by name. I don't care. In the year 2025, everybody knows who you're talking about. It doesn't matter. That
you could have been talking about Conrad, you know?
Conrad.
One guy I won't go for it. It's Conrad Martinez.
Yeah. But that to me.
People are wondering why, couple things. People are wondering why Tommy didn't say anything after the game. The pressers were going on at the same time.
That's a cooling down period. I'm just saying on Friday, that's something that I would just like to.
Also, Shelby makes a good point. Adam Miller and Bashir Jihad, if you watch it, they went to shake Murph's and Tommy's hand, and Bobby ran across the court to pull them away. Murph has known Adam Miller since he was 14 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, come on, man.
Right, exactly. And the thing about it too, I just believe that was embarrassing. Also, we need to talk about the Caleb Love 2 technicals. So basically, this comes down to this is at the discretion of the Big 12 as if Caleb will play against BYU, correct?
Yeah, and I'm surprised we haven't heard anything. I'm waiting, but yes. Okay. Yeah, it's at their discretion.
All right. This to me, I think in society, way too many times you get people that try to have false equivalencies to something. Well, Bashir Jihad, or not Bashir Jihad, Freeman, that putz, and Caleb Love, well, they both got into it. No. One dude headbutted the other guy. That is not the same. And then if you square up on somebody because they headbutted you, what else are you supposed to do? This isn't a push. You could do massive damage to somebody's physical being if you headbutt somebody. I don't know what else was Caleb Love to do. And sure, give him the tech. He's woofing to the officials and stuff at the end. But dude, you just got headbutted in the face. Or I don't know what else you're supposed to do.
Here's the thing, Mike. They didn't know he got headbutted. I am absolutely convinced when you watch that tape that they did not know about the headbutt until they watched the review. And I think the announcer said it too at the time, because they would have ejected him right away. And they didn't eject Jihad right away. They ejected Caleb, and they teed up
Freeman,
for talking. And then they watched the video. So
that
I don't
makes it
know
worse
if
to
you
me
can
that you watched the video and then you still got rid of both of them.
because I don't know if you can rescind a tech during a game. I have a feeling, and this is just me guessing, it's no inside information, that we find out today, because they have to say whether or not Freeman is suspended, unless they just ignore it, that they rescinded one of the texts for Caleb Love. I had a parent of a player DM me after the game.
I did too.
And said they have to rescind the tech, right?
Right.
And it's like, it makes no sense. A kid gets headbutted and you're supposed to sit there and take it.
Yeah. I wonder if the same person messaged him. I somebody.
Someone we talked to before.
Yeah.
Also, I want to shout out, since we're talking about parents, Jaden Bradley has the coolest dad ever.
Yes, he is. He's
I
great.
saw him at the game. We shook hands and then walking out, and I said that was close. And he goes, and he made a good point. I don't think he'll care. He said, we can win. We can do it in different ways.
Yep.
And I was like, you're right. Like that. I think this Tommy Lloyd team has shown, maybe more than any other team he's had, that they can win in different ways. They can win slow. They can win ugly. They can win up and down.
I got beat up on your board a lot for this, about my no soft weenies remark on this team. Are we starting to find out that there's only like one or two soft weenies?
There's one. No, yeah. There's two. But overall, it's probably both in the starting lineup.
Yeah, right. Overall, though, I think you could make the case it's his toughest team.
And you know what is okay with that is you can change that problem very quickly with a substitution. Right. There's been other teams where you just got to live with it.
Yeah, exactly. No, and so that's kind of where that is where I am at with that. But again, Arizona is 9-1. Come on, everybody, hit the like button. Oh, we're gonna get to Trey Townsend. Don't worry. We will get to Trey Townsend. Bradley though.
Conrad too.
We can't get. All right, we can get to Conrad.
For sure. 10-second shout out to Conrad. I think would be very nice.
Yeah, that was a big three. I'm not gonna lie. That was a big three.
And gutsy three.
It was a gutsy three,
right? Like, right. And didn't hesitate. A lot of guys would hesitate in that situation.
Yeah, no, he let it fly.
Conrad let it fly, big shot. I just think we should give him. I'm not going to say play Conrad 15 minutes, but But
again, he was serviceable. You know. It was if Conrad's going to be in there, I just can't have him hurt us. If he can just be there. There is a guess. Oh, we'll talk about. Hey, remind me about Brennan Carroll. Don't remind me about Brennan Carroll.
We'll says, what's the best lineup? I think Arizona's best lineup is the same every single game.
It's very
Jaden, Caleb, KJ, Carter, Henry is by far the best lineup.
And then you can mix or match Tobe in there if how depending. Yeah. But those are the dudes. Those are the same. Yeah. Also, we need to talk about Jaden Bradley for a second. Mr. Reliable. You just watch him and we've talked about this before, but from defense to finishing at the hoop. And you know what amazes me? And we've talked about this before in the season. Every single game, there is one drive to the basket where it's in a half-court set or a transition where the other team just doesn't defend him, and he just gets a layup. It's every single game. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. It always comes at a time we need it.
He had, I don't remember the timestamp, but he had that layup in traffic where even Raftery was like, whoa. Yeah. He gets to the basket. His first step is as quick as you'll see when he gets to the basket. He had a play where he got to the basket in like 2 moves real quick, laid it up in traffic, and it was awesome. And it was impressive. Like, there's just so much that was impressive about him. But again,
I win. That's a big win for me. Jaden Bradley is a big win for me.
Yeah, I've said this before. I put so much value into consistency in college basketball. And when your most consistent player is your point guard, that is very, very valuable.
Okay, I need to rant about something else too. But first, let's pay some bills.
Can you pay some bills?
Long view. Take the long view. All right, now listen. I'm responsible for a lot of good things in life. I don't know that I'm responsible for anything better than bringing Andre Veras to Jason Shear. And I take full responsibility because I took the long view. Here's the Here's the deal. Longview Insurance and Investments, my friends. I cannot endorse, but I would highly recommend Mr. Andre Veras. He has skyrocketed to the top of the industry, and that is because he is a good person. Personalized, comprehensive financial planning, tailored retirement income strategies, distinctive wealth management solutions. Sheer, Andre Veras is worth more in his pinky finger than you and I will ever be worth because he is the man and we are putzes.
Sorry, Ben just sent us a text and I'm flabbergasted.
Oh, no.
Andre Veras is a great human, great dude, smart person. Longview Insurance and Investments is the way to get it done. Give him a call while Mike reads the text. Yeah, and the cool thing is he'll work with you, and he cares about his customers. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Whatever. Yeah. Yeah. But either way, Longview. Yes. Longview. But yeah, Andre Veras, he is the man. Now, what else? What else do we have here, Mr. Coach? Oh, RJ's frozen cactus. Okay. Now, RJ's frozen cactus. Let's see here. Okay. Here's the great thing about RJ's frozen cactus here. This is the place that you can go. You can ride share, or you can go there. You can drink a lot of cold ones, a lot of tasty beverages. And the great thing about the tasty beverages is you can get $2 deals and 100 plus craft beers, my friends. Pizza, wings, tacos, burgers, and more. Not one bad seat in the house. Check it out. RJ's Frozen Cactus. Red Hot Sports, ice cold craft beer. Yummy, yummy in my tummy. 5769 East Speedway Boulevard, Tucson, Arizona. Okay. Now, what's Longview's view on tariffs? I don't know about that. That's actually a very funny question.
That is funny.
Okay.
Let's talk about politics and tariffs. Go, Mike.
I will not. All right. Oh, we got Alonzo Carter coming on tomorrow, by the way.
Oh, my guy. Man, what are we going to ask that guy?
Very, very exciting. All right. Trey Townsend. Listen.
That video is damning. Damning.
And here's where I'm at when it comes to Cronin's worse than Hurley, because the reason Cronin is worse than Hurley is that Hurley doesn't go out there and say that his players that suck and they're dumb. He's just
I disagree with you. Since Cronin did that, it worked. They're winning.
Yeah, but I don't care. I don't care. I'm talking about the entire. I mean, Cronin's a better coach. I'm not saying that.
But I'm saying I feel like you can get away with this when you start to win games. I think it's worse when you lose. But
yeah, no, I get it. I'm just saying that I find
Cronin is a bigger piece of crap than Bobby Hurley, though.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah. The piece of crap award. How about that? The Jed Fish putts of the week.
Yeah, there's a fertilizer. Oh my gosh, if there's a fertilizer sponsor,
yes,
we could do the AZ12
if anybody out
crap award.
If anybody knows out there a fertilizer sponsor, please bring them to me. We will give them a great deal.
Piece of crap of the week.
Fertilizer sponsor. Oh gosh. All right. Okay. Now, let's see here. Let's talk about Trey Townsend though. I can deal with players that aren't good. I've seen a lot of players here that aren't good. There's two things that I can't, and Cuzzo, whatever your name is on Twitter, this is for you. There's two things that I can't deal with. I can't deal with players that don't work hard and don't take it seriously and don't play hard.
Other than that.
Yeah. But no, I mean, if you play hard and you're just not good, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Trey Townsend doesn't play hard. I'm sure you can find me times where he's played hard, but there are way too many times like that. And that, again, the video is obviously taken off. But, man, he doesn't play hard, Sheer. And your guy, I think it was Tucson Clip on your board, said what's even is the part before that is even worse that it didn't show.
Yeah, that's that's a whole sequence. And here's the thing. You know, we've said this before that Trey Townsend played in a very, was it regimented? Is that, good?
Yeah, that's probably right.
Offense, right? Where they called plays every time up and down the court, right? They don't do that here ever. And clearly he doesn't understand how to work in this offense. Clip has 3 points. So I'm going to read our boy Clip's points. I found it. He has no clue where to be defensively in the rotations. He doesn't know when to how to operate within the offense and either stands in the corner or doesn't move off the block. He stands in his spot for a rebound and doesn't leave his space. He has the highest turnover percentage of his career and the second lowest assist and rebounding percentages of his career.
He's
He is
bad.
I will go as far as to say that when you look at who Tommy Lloyd has brought in through the portal, Trey is the biggest miss.
Trey's the biggest miss, and here's the problem, though, and I'm going to give Tommy Lloyd some credit here, but there's also got to be something that's done about it. He did bench him for quite a while, so that is good. He brought him back in the crunch, though, which I don't get.
I think that was a foul situation.
Well, but he didn't bring Awaka back in.
Awaka just was awful that game.
Yeah, but again,
I guess offense. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if it was up to me, Trey Townsend would play 10 minutes a game.
But to me, I'm really hoping that's why when people are like, man, I don't dislike the kid, but I dislike his effort. His effort sucks. It just does. I don't know what else to say. That is unacceptable. And again, that's not like a one-time. If that was a one-off or something, that's pretty much every game at some point. Like, what are we doing here, man?
And Tommy's gonna have to make a decision because I don't know how much this comes across on television, but you can agree with this. When you're at an NCAA tournament game, the intensity and the effort level are raised from the regular season, right? You can maybe get away with it in a regular season game. In the tournament, if that's the effort Trey Townsend puts forth, he literally can't be on the court. Can't do it.
Yeah, but again, here's my problem though, is that
Courtney Ramey was much better in his contributions than Trey Townsend.
Courtney Ramey
tried.
Courtney Ramey was a legitimate player. Like,
yeah.
I mean, again, it wasn't
Cedric Henderson, like everybody.
Cedric Henderson tried. Again, I'm not going to lump any of these dudes in with Trey because they tried. And Cedric Henderson came in with a role. Cedric Henderson was not brought in to be a starter. He's brought in to be like a seventh dude.
I really think that when you look at it, like I'd have to sit down. I'm trying to think of transfers. I think Trey is the biggest miss.
Yeah, and the problem with Trey, though, too, is that Trey is destructive. Trey is destructive. And again, I don't know how Tommy. That's the one. There's like last year with Boswell. It was just very much of a, what are we doing here, man? Like,
and it never fixed. We thought it would fix. It kind of fixed itself in the tournament a little bit.
Nah, but he was still getting his guaranteed 20 minutes.
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
What about the guy who left the team 5 Kim Aiken? We don't talk about him.
We don't talk about Kim Aiken.
That
was the people about that story. There's a great background story to that though, with the COVID.
Yeah.
And about the guy responsible to totally misrepresenting it.
Yes.
Which he turned out to actually be right, but totally wrong at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes. It was. I will not tell anybody that story. Yes. Boswell is coming.
And he was good. He was good off the bench. I'll give him credit. He was good the other night.
Yes, I will. Boswell is coming off the bench. Take that.
Big game tonight, Mike. Big 12 game.
What's that? Oh, what's Kansas and Iowa State
tonight. You could basically say that with a loss, you're rooting for Kansas in this one. Because if Iowa State loses, you got to think in the Big 12 standings, they're kind of done.
Right. I think they're done. They stink.
I think Iowa State does not stink, but
no, I didn't say Iowa State stinks. I just said Kansas is not very good.
Should Iowa State lose, they're 3 games back.
Iowa State, we need Iowa State.
So we need Iowa State to lose, and then the Vegas odds have Houston as a heavy favorite, and Arizona, believe it or not, is not second. Mike, Texas Tech has better odds than Arizona.
Yeah, I'm fine. Texas Tech's actually really good. Texas Tech, man, we really did. Nebraska is the best team in the Big Ten. I mean, at this point, I don't know how you could really change.
If Iowa State loses tonight, we're going full in on Arizona broke them.
Yes, exactly. Yes, we will. But that's where I'm at with Townsend. And again, I love Wildcats Fanalytics. They're smarter than me. But Courtney Ramey had good games. Courtney Ramey made big shots. What was it? Was it UCLA?
Courtney Ramey's shot against UCLA was more value than Trey Townsend's had in any game.
That was a game, and that wasn't just like a wide open. That was one where Tommy Lloyd looked at him and said, "Go." Like it was kind of the Ben Matherin type thing. And so again, I respect what you're saying, but I totally disagree with that. Townsend's just destructive. That's the best way that I could put it. Also, there is a retirement. We're going to get to Henry here in a second, but there is the term the Twins has been retired. Officially, it is defunct. Tobe Awaka has,
Proud of you.
yeah, I like the term. The term brings me, I think the term's a very funny term, but it's just not fair to Tobe Awaka. It just isn't. He is. You know, Muehlbach made a good point about Awaka. He said he's kind of the opposite. Everybody talks about the gravity that Steph Curry has with people, like following him around. He says Awaka's got that like internal gravity. It's like where everybody in the paint just kind of sucks to him at some point. It was kind of an interesting point. When he falls, 3 other people fall. But
the funny thing about Awaka when he goes to get a rebound is it doesn't matter if you're on Arizona or the other team, he will take you out to go get that basketball.
Yeah, he will take you out. Now let's talk about Henry here in a second. We're going to talk about BYU. We got Alonzo Carter again, but again tomorrow. But what's the next read here, Mr. Cody James Martin? I just got a good text, by the way. Oh, Eris Dental. Now, listen. You look at this. Look at this, Sheer.
It's still there. Thank God. I was worried.
When you go to Eris Dental, they are going to only give you necessary care. They're not going to try to mess with you. They're not going to try to do stuff with. They're not going to talk about any of that stuff. They are going to give you. They're going to give you the necessary care, and they only offer necessary treatment. We like Lan Allen a great deal. There's 3 locations too. There's the one out in like the compound out in Rita Ranch. That one's very, very nice. I went out there. Very high ceilings. And again, very and it's a nice atmosphere. TucsonTeeth.com. Dental implants. Sure. You said that you basically want new dental implants, even if you don't need them.
Yeah, I would love new teeth.
Yes.
My teeth aren't great.
You would go to Lan Allen, our good friend at Arizona.
Well, yeah, if I need new teeth, there's only one place I'm going.
Yes, you would go and you would get those new teeth there at because again, and they can give you a better deal because they have a different charging service available for you. Check it out. Eris Dental, our guy, Lan Allen, and retainers, mouth guards. Everybody loses their mouth guard. You can get a very cheap replacement there as well. I don't know if they can give you a new tongue, but if they can, I think it's
if someone can, it'd be them.
It'd be Lan Allen. Exactly. Check it out. Eris Dental. Okay. Yeah, Cody, I already got this. All right, now Patrick Valenzuela, P-Val. Let's talk about how Mike Luke is single-handedly the reason Kendrick won his Grammy. Wop. By the way, man, how bad is that? Did you see Drake is doing like karaoke at the Cow Pony now or something? Like,
yeah, Shelby was cracking up. He's doing like karaoke in Australia or something.
Yeah. Oh man, that's just not a good look. Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about Henry Vasar. Henry Vasar, the man, the myth. He came back and he said, "Watch this, wop 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 wop," and he got dunked on by Quaintance. Cool. Guess what? He came right back and dunked.
Can we just get a Henry Vasar complete game though? I don't ask for much.
Yeah.
Just give me a good first half and a good second half. I think that'd be fun.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of where I'd like to see that as well. Now, BYU, that's how I know. That's why I don't take Drake seriously is that I actually watched Degrassi, growing up. And so I always think of him as like the paralyzed kid in the wheelchair. So it's like when he's trying to be tough, it's like, nah, that's not what I think of. Nice try. Okay. Let's see here. Rick Barons, where you been, dude? All right, let's see here. Let's see. Oh, Casey Kennedy. Karaoke at the Cow Pony made my day. No, I've done karaoke at the Cow Pony. Shot through the heart and you're to blame. I did not do like the Jello shots though. But
shots.
Or like they have like Jello
do body shots when you're
body shots. No, I did not do body shots.
You ever see him at the Cow Pony ask for a body shot and a karaoke song, and Mike will provide it?
A body shot of Mike Luke. Definitely. Mike would be a Degrassi guy. Yeah, watch your mouth.
Yeah, you do look like a Degrassi guy.
Yeah, no. So that's why I don't take him seriously when he's trying to be tough. It's like, get out of here, dude. You suck. All right. Casey Kennedy, though. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. Remind me, we like Casey Kennedy on this show. He's got a good performance coming up here we'll talk about. Okay. Texas or BYU, though, that's an all hands on deck game. I would assume Caleb Love plays in that game.
Yeah, we'll have an emergency. How about this? I don't know what you're doing today, Mike. If he's suspended, we'll do like a 10-minute emergency.
Yeah. We should. We will do a 10. If he is suspended, we should do that. Oh, we got to talk we got to talk Wildcat football. Duh. Sorry. We got to talk two things. Wildcat, great. JCM won the MVP. We will claim JCM, even though we kind of schemed his way in.
Arizona Wildcat, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt with a great job at the Senior Bowl.
Right.
Arizona Wildcat, great.
Right. They, yes. Wild. And did you see, I'm not surprised at all that Jonas Savanea is killing it.
I think it's really weird. Did everyone think he was a tackle? We've always known he's a guard. They could have just asked us.
Well, right. And I love too when they're like, man, he's amazing in the strength conditioning. Well, no, duh.
Yeah, it's like, I know he's a future guard. Duh.
Duh. Hey, we should ask Alonzo Carter tomorrow about U of A great Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Does that merit a mention?
Yeah, Zoe loves the kid.
Yes, we will do that. All right, that's 10:30. All right, everybody, we are going to sign off. But we will be back with you tomorrow, though, at 10:30. 2 shows tomorrow because you got.
I'll be on postgame.
Yep, sure, going to be on postgame. Very, very good. Very, very good. Okay. Dick Wilson, who cares? We claim him. AZ Lobo or NM Wildcat.
He's ours. Who cares?
Yeah, he's ours. Yeah, back the A, baby. Okay, back the freaking A, nifty cello. All right, on that note, though, very much appreciate it. Sheer, where can they find you?
WildcatAuthority.com and the Wildcat Scoop podcast with Shelby.
Rudy, we are going to give our BYU prediction tomorrow. That is called a tease, my friend. But for Jason Shear, I am merely Mike Luke, Cody James Martin behind the scene, TTFN. Talk for now. See you tomorrow.